Taylor Smith, and for the past 6 years, I have been a next generation leader for the IdeaGen Global Foundation, including being one of the youngest speakers at the United Nations Summit. Today, I will be moderating the IdeaGen Partnerships for the Next Generation panel. So with me, I have three incredible people, and could each of you please introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about what you do at your respective organizations?
Sure. So my name is David Kelly. My day job is I'm a resident physician at Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School in the Department of Ophthalmology. But I also serve as chair-elect for an organization called HOSA, Future Health Professionals. On their board of directors, we're a large intracurricular student organization that empowers the next generation of healthcare leaders, both in the United States and around the world. We have middle school, high school, and post-secondary collegiate members that we empower through a competitive events program with over 60 competitive events that offer exposure to various health careers, and also through service to local communities and also at the international level.
Good afternoon. My name is Margaret Dritsas. I am the Grand President of the Daughters of Penelope. We are an international women's organization, grassroots with boots on the ground. This year we will be celebrating our 95th anniversary in San Francisco in November. We are a group of women that has chapters all over the world with over 250 chapters globally. And it is my honor to be leading this organization this year.
I'm George Kalyvas, the Supreme Secretary, the Chief Operating Officer of the Sons of Pericles, which is in the HEPA family with the Daughters of Penelope. We are an international fraternal organization that is focused on philanthropy, heritage, service, and we also have chapters and members across North America and Europe, and it's really a pleasure to be here.
That's great. Going a little bit deeper into the work that each of you have done, what is one key aspect of your organization that differentiates it from others? Let's start with you.
Yeah. You know, as a fraternal organization, there's certainly stereotypes that come with that. We are not an Animal House type organization. We are actually a Hellenic community organization. And that is something that our members turn to us for. They turn to us for professional development, and we provide them the tools to network with industry professionals, form lifelong friendships, and attend our various Greek Sin social weekends along with participating in their local communities. So we, compared to other organizations in the same field, we don't just prioritize the social. It's very important for us to have our members get involved in the community.
So for us, as the Daughters of Penelope, we're the women's organization of this big HEPA family. And like George said, we base our values on Hellenic values, philanthropy, community service, individual excellence, education. We're very big on education. And what we like to see ourselves as is the bridge. So the bridge between the past to the future. And we like to support our youth. It's very important for us to have our youth members be part of everything that we do so that they can feel included, so that we can help them with mentorship. We might not be the right person for their career path or career development, but we know somebody who will be. So we like to do that in networking and in helping them get to where they can shine and their potential can be seen.
I think for HOSA, it's really the passion of our members. When partners come to our conferences for the first time, they're astonished that these middle schoolers and high schoolers know exactly what they want to do with their lives, and that they're that thirsty to learn more and be exposed to those various career paths. And it's something that, frankly, I think the strength of our organization is built upon, because as soon as they graduate into those fields, they give back through mentorship. They come back to those conferences. They are the healthcare industry of today, helping to train the healthcare industry of tomorrow.
And all of that work that you've each touched on must require partnerships throughout many aspects. So could you go into one key partnership that your organization has created that has helped make a lasting impact?
Yeah, I can start. So I think HOSA lives in the local classroom, and if you are a teacher or a student with limited resources, it can be really hard to make your voice heard, especially in the health industry. So what we try to do on an international level is engage partners who are hungry to connect with those very passionate, dedicated students, and to leverage those partnerships to get students involved in their local health communities. So one recent example is we've partnered with BioRad. They're a large biotechnology company, and when you think about a career that must be opaque to a middle schooler or a high schooler, biotechnology comes first to mind. But through our partnership with them, they sponsor one of our competitive events, and so that gets their high quality, industry quality materials to students in classrooms around the country, around the world. And when they exhibit at our conferences, and they exhibit in a very engaging, interactive way, they're identifying all of those students who are already there and already had a propensity towards biotechnology, but they're just being mobbed, in our expo hall by students wanting to learn more, and HOSA has been able to serve as that touchstone, that connection.
Yeah, that must be an incredible experience for those students. Mm-hmm. What about you, Margaret?
So for the Daughters of Penelope, we have many partnerships, but the ones that come to mind for me right now are Meals on Wheels. So as an organization, we have contributed over $70,000 to Meals on Wheels. And we also have another partner, Water by Women. So this program actually has women getting clean water for places, whether in the US or outside of the US. So one woman will give a covenant that she will provide another 3 families with clean water, a filtration system that works through modern technology, if I can use that term. And with every family, you're saving at least 4 lives from any diseases that would come from contaminated water. Those are the 2 ones that I can think of right now, but we have so many partnerships with so many, either the health sectors, education, but Meals on Wheels and Water by Women are 2 big ones right now.
Yeah, these partnerships, we, as an international organization with local chapters, we really advocate for our members and our chapters to find grassroots community organizations on their own. And on an international level, we try and craft the overall message for what we're trying to prioritize. So mental health is a really huge one for us, something that our members are always asking, how can we get involved and contribute to solving this crisis? So a few years ago, we partnered with the JED Foundation, which works towards alleviating mental health illnesses and bullying and harassment in the youth. And we also worked with the Boys and Girls Club of America, which has chapters across North America this past year. So we want to be the kind of steering voice for the rest of our chapters. If they want to partner with the organization that our board is going with, by all means. But we really want them to get involved in their communities.
And I think that you already touched on this a little bit, but could both of you go a little more into how these partnerships help to provide resources for today's youth, either on a local scale or on the national scale?
Absolutely. So for us, we really encourage our members, like George said, to get involved in community. So community service is very important. When we get involved with these organizations, we make sure that we advocate for them and that we let the youth, either locally or nationally, know that we are here to support and we are here to take it to the next level. Sometimes when we partner with groups, it's not only for our members to have a voice, but it's also for the community to be able to see where they can go and be heard. So we do a lot of outreach and we do a lot of community service. All I can think of right now is our community service is huge, whether it's at the local level or at the national level. We don't just do it, we don't just use an organization or a partner nationally. We actually go into all of the communities, wherever they have a chapter or an office, and we help at all levels.
I can definitely mirror that. It's youth nowadays are in this conundrum of, how do I get involved in my community when I'm seeing just so much mayhem and distraction and all of these things on social media, right? People do want to get involved in their communities. So we want to really guide them towards organizations that can have an impact. And people come away then with a sense of purpose. They're coming away with, me and my friends, we just contributed maybe our time, maybe we raised a few $1,000s, whatever it is. You're coming away with something tangible. So we really try and empower people to do that.
And adding off of, like you said, with the world having so many distractions for youth today, how do your organizations become a positive resource for youth in our crazy world?
Yeah, it's difficult. I will say, and I touched on it a little bit earlier, there's this prevailing thought that for us, students aren't deciding what they're going to do until college or postgraduate. That's not true at all. And I think in many ways, it's a necessity. When programs become more and more competitive, students are seeking out these experiences often on their own in middle school and high school, shadowing at healthcare facilities. In our case, they're seeking out volunteer hours. And so I think that the passion is there. You just have to be able to engage those students, because if you don't engage them at those levels when they're still learning, you're going to lose them. They're going to go off somewhere else.
So in our busy and noisy world, I do think that the one thing that we try to do with our youth is mentorship, is leading by example and paving the way, making that connection for them with the appropriate places. Like David just said, we have volunteer programs. A lot of students need hours. So we put them in touch with the different aspects in the different organizations that they can actually utilize to see if when they were 6, if they wanted to be a doctor, do they really want to still be a doctor after they get into the hospital? So what we try to do is bridge with the youth and empower them, because empowered women empower other women and empower communities. And every little bit helps. So when I see the youth, I always tell them, don't be afraid. We don't only have your back, we are your back. Go out there. You've got somebody behind you, supporting you, cheering you on. So it's very important for us to make sure that we bridge with our youth and that they know that we are there by their side.
I think that's my favorite line of the day. Empowered women empower other women. I think that's a really powerful thing that everyone should remember, because you can't do anything on your own, can you? And helping youth in this way is really a great stepping stone for them to have, to be able to bring others up as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's something that you actually told us this weekend at our leadership conference. And you put your money where your mouth is, truly. And we take, as an organization, this as like a two-pronged approach. Youth want to be out in the real world, but we're also all distracted by our phones. These are our lives too. So we're meeting our members where we are. We're actually launching a membership app that will have community forum that's moderated, no tolerance for harassment or bullying at all.
Absolutely.
And it's just it's going to be a better place, a healthier place for our under 18 members, while also being a fun place for our adult members. And then on the other end, in the real world, we could say, we have our community events. We have our social events. We have our leadership conference, where we empower the chapter presidents and members at large who want to really understand, how do boards work? How is the business world functioning? How can you get involved in organizations even when you're in your teens? There's so many opportunities to speak up, and I think adults are often looking to us for leadership and for us to take the step forward.
Absolutely.
That application is going to be so impactful, because social media today it can be a wonderful place, but it can also be a toxic place. And so having that safe space for children and adults is really going to be another way to have that stepping stone to make healthy connections.
And we're piggybacking on what they're doing, right? So it goes both ways for us. We learn, we mentor, but they teach us a lot too. So like we always said, there is zero tolerance for bullying or harassment. We don't tolerate that as an organization. But like George said, there are times when we go to our youth and say, can you help me with this Instagram page? Because it's going to take me a day and it's going to take you 5 minutes, So we do stuff like that, and we're very appreciative. And we feel the support. As much as we support our youth, they support us as well.
Absolutely.
Well, I think to wrap this up, what is a piece of advice you would each give to the youth listening today? And along with that, what is your call to action to the current leaders to help bring up the next generation? I'm going to start with George.
Be mindful, be considerate. As we were saying, social media can be a minefield, and I think it's really important to take a step back. Remind yourself that you have friends, you have people that care about you, and they might be on social media, but before you send off that X post, it's no longer a tweet, or you comment something nasty, take a step back. It's a real person behind the other end, and that's a really important message that I've had to also take into account.
So I would tell the youth to remember to be themselves, to remember that they have the power within them, that something they will do today will have an impact tomorrow, to be empowered, and to always be true to themselves and be kind. A call to action: step out of your comfort zone. Try it out. You might actually like it.
Yeah. I would say my biggest two pieces of advice, I'd say, would be to know when to ask for help and know that there are organizations and people out there whose entire mission it is to help you towards success, and also to seek out high quality information. I think so many opportunities are missed, particularly by young people, just because they don't know to seek them out. The early bird gets the worm, but also being the first person to show up to a meeting, being the first person to be present, can get you inside a lot of doors. And so I think being that person who seeks out help, who seeks out information, who's empowered by that information, really will propel you towards success.
That's great. Yeah, learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
Is the biggest thing. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking time out of your day and for empowering. I can't even imagine how many youth are going to be seeing this and understand that they have people that are there to support them and who have their backs, and in ways that they can find a supportive community or a place to push their career forward. And I hope you know how much the work you're doing means to young people, especially me.
Oh,
So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.